Hey guys, it's HINA here at Rebalance Physical Therapy and Wellness in Center City, Philadelphia, as well as on the main line in Narberth, Pennsylvania. And I am a orthopedic and pelvic floor physical therapist that treats with a holistic and what's called a functional medicine approach to improve a lot of our patients. And a lot of the injuries that we tend to see at our clinic are hip, pelvic, and spine related. And so today I want to talk to many of you who are finding that they're struggling with an injury. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a spine, hip, or pelvic injury, but really any what's known as a musculoskeletal injury, which means it's an injury of the muscle, it's an injury of the bone, it's an injury of a ligament or a tendon, or even what's called the fascia. And many of you perhaps have already had treatment. Perhaps you've seen a chiropractor, maybe you've seen an osteopath, maybe you've seen physical therapist and had many physical therapy sessions, but something feels like it's just not improving. Or maybe you felt like you've improved a little, but you're still struggling. It's like this injury is just taking it's like molasses pouring out of a jar. It's just super slow and it's moving at a snail pace. And so I want to talk to all of you because sometimes there's even more of an underlying reason why perhaps your injury isn't getting better. First and foremost, we have to talk about, have you had the right treatment for your injury? Because there's a lot of practitioners out there, and at least we see this in our clinic, where most of the time many people have seen several different practitioners for this particular injury or several injuries that they're dealing with. And they say, hey, I've had a ton of physical therapy, I've had a ton of chiropractic, I've had a ton of this, and nothing has really changed. And then when we take a look at them, they actually haven't had the best kind of holistic integrated physical therapy for their injury. However, some people have. And once I talk to them and I find, hey, you've actually had actually a good intervention or a good treatment, however, you're still struggling, then perhaps there's something more underlying going on. And that's what today's video is actually wanting to speak to you all about. So all of us are made, our bodies are made up of cells. And everyone hopefully should know what a cell is, but it's basically the building blocks of everything, for our muscles, for our organs, for our hair, for our skin, for our eyes, everything. And so we're made up of billions and billions of cells. And each individual cell is dynamic. It's got a lot of stuff going on. That cell produces energy, it creates hormones, it creates other enzymes that help our body function the way that it does. And there's a constant repair process that's going on. And everything from sleep, diet, lifestyle, stress, everything can actually affect that cell from doing its job. So imagine every cell is a mini workshop, and you have billions of workshops that basically make up your body. And if, say, many of those workshops aren't doing the things that they need to do, then their product is going to be lousy, right? So you can imagine if our cells are, the workshops are they're not working up to par, then things like muscle repair, things like organ repair, things like fascial repair, all of these things are going to they're not going to basically function as well. They're not going to repair as well. So you're going to see this presented possibly as a musculoskeletal injury, a tendon that's not healing quite as well, a ligament that's not healing quite as well, maybe fascia that's not healing quite as well. And that's going to affect your function, which is going to create pain. And, it's going to be like this vicious cycle. So what can actually help if you've had all of these things done? Well, here at our clinic, we take what's called a functional medicine approach, which is different than the traditional Western medicine that you think of when you go to your physician. They do general lab work. They kind of check you out and they see, hey, this is what's going on and this is the medication you need to take or this is the treatment that you need. What functional medicine does is it takes a real look at how your cells are functioning. How is the workshop going? Are the cells producing enough energy the way that they should? Are the cells absorbing nutrients the way that they should? And the nutrients you get from your diet and from also the environment, right? The sun gives us our vitamin D levels to a certain extent. So we look at all of these things as well as your genetics. So genetics is, what's passed down from your mother and father and, your ancestors. And how does that genetics, through things such as like DNA testing that we also can do, how does that, as well as how your cells are functioning, and we determine this through specific types of labs that are generally not done in, your regular physician's office. But how is all that interacting together? And what picture is it painting as far as how those cells, how those workshops are doing to repair your muscle, tendon, fascia, all these types of things that you might be still struggling with? And so we see this at our clinic all the time, especially when we're dealing with a lot of hip and pelvic and spine issues, is that oftentimes when we start looking at these labs, that these things they're actually not jiving. There's a lot of dysfunction. There's a lot of impairments. There's a lot of issues of the cells doing what they need to do. And sometimes, again, the genetics plays a role. And so we take all of these things, lifestyle, diet, your genetics, what your cells are doing, and we try to create a plan to get your cells and the workshops doing what they need to do to get back on track, so that when these cells are repairing and healing and creating energy and all these things, that's going to give you, it's going to help you sleep hopefully better. It's going to help you, your injuries recover better. It's going to give you more energy, especially because, when you're struggling with an injury, I know from personal experience that when you're dealing with an injury, it just brings your mood down. It fatigues you out. You're just not wanting to be social. It decreases your functioning. It's going to help all of those things to improve. And so hopefully that sheds some light as far as why these injuries might not be improving. And, I get these questions all the time. Everyone's looking for a quick fix on a video, but this is not a quick fix. This is very individual to you. This is really looking at you from an internal nitty-gritty perspective to help boost and get you better from the inside out. So I hope this helps. And if any of you live in and around the Philadelphia area, or in and around the suburbs of the main line, then it's a no-brainer. Give us a call. Hop onto our website. We have lots of great information. We have lots of blog posts. We have sign up for our newsletters. We give out a ton of information that might help you even if you don't see us. But it's worth possibly giving us a call if you're struggling with an injury, so we can hopefully help you to get better if you've been struggling for a while. And our website is rebalancept.com. That's rebalancept.com. And, some of you may qualify for a free consult with me, and I can't wait to talk to any of you and help you move in the right direction. Take care. Have a wonderful day.